I've tried to start this video at least like 4 times now, so hopefully this is the one I actually go through on, because I tried to film it like straight after filming another video that was completely different in tone and it just wasn't working, and I need to be in the right headspace to talk about this because it is a serious topic and is being talked about a lot at the moment. So yeah, hey guys, you've seen the title, you've seen many other YouTubers at the moment with this title, especially those in the gaming community, and I wanted to put my sort of 2 pennies worth into this, as the kind of phrase goes, because on the 5th of September, which I'm pretty sure might be the day this is being uploaded, I'm not sure, is my 9-year anniversary on YouTube, if you can believe that. I've been on YouTube for 9 years, not on this channel, I had a previous channel before this one. Not gonna let you know which one that is because that's not what this video is about. Very serious, not about to cringe. And throughout that time, you know, I've seen the platform grow so much in terms of how it works. We had, you know, the algorithm come in a bigger way. We had the adpocalypse. We had like the change in monetization rules. Thanks, Logan Paul. Right now, over the past couple of years, but especially at the moment, most recently, there have been some issues with how the platform is run and how it works that, as they have been brought up by members of the gaming community, namely Sean, Jacksepticeye, Corey, I think his name is, and there's an issue with Markiplier as well, Mark. Those are, at least they are the 3 that come to mind that I've seen videos for, or by, and that's all about age restriction, which has thankfully triggered quite a widespread conversation about issues with YouTube. And whilst a lot of them will be talking about the age restriction issue, and whilst that is massive, and I will talk about that, I also want to talk about issues that I have brought up in the past. I made a video back in March of 2021 about issues I was experiencing as a small creator, trying to get my content more out there, and some of the things I was finding discouraging, and I will link that up there. Please wait till after this video to watch that, because I'm going to touch on a lot of the issues I talk about in this video, in this video, but expand upon them. So if you want a bit more of a detailed look into the issues that I was talking about then, go watch that video, but I'd say wait till after this video to watch that. But I basically thought that now would be a great time to hop back into the conversation of being critical in a constructive way. If anyone from YouTube is watching this, hi, I'm not being a hater. This is the same as a lot of other people's videos will have been. It's constructive criticism, okay? We want the platform to be better for creators, because we know you want creators to succeed, so we're giving you feedback as to how to improve and how to make sure that that aim is fulfilled in the best way possible, at least from the perspective of creators. So that's what this video is. If anybody from YouTube is watching this, FBI agent who's in the webcam, just hi. This is what this video is, don't take me down. Even before this whole age restriction thing came up, Jacksepticeye, Sean, has been very vocal about issues he's had with YouTube before, namely with comments. He's been getting a lot of hate comments, spam comments, sort of bot comments in the past, and especially most recently. I've always watched those videos with a lot of respect, because I like to see bigger creators talk about these issues that might well be affecting smaller creators, but when bigger creators talk about it, they have a more likely of a chance of getting to the big people, like of it reaching Susan, you know, and actually seeing some change. And especially in his recent videos when he's been talking about like speaking to like his YouTube rep, and a lot of people do have links at YouTube, they have reps from YouTube who help them out with their videos, and he was saying like how it's a privilege basically, and it is a privilege, but it's a good privilege, and I'm glad that he's using that for good, and I'm glad that he's been very vocal about this and been talking to his YouTube rep about this kind of thing, and that there's that communication there. Obviously there are a lot of issues within communication within YouTube, which we will get into, but yeah, I just wanted to mention Sean, great job. But most recently, one of his videos came up in my description about another video being like, YouTube has issues and they've got worse than whatever. I don't know exactly what the title was, and I clicked on it, like I usually do with these kind of videos from him. and he was talking about the age restriction issue. It was the first video he made where he referenced Corey's video where he alleged that YouTube system was racist because of the Mortuary Assistant, which is a game. As I say, a lot of this is being brought up by the gaming community, which I'm not a part of anymore. I was, and I'm thinking of being a part of again, but at the moment I'm not, but I still keep up with a few people who play games. But he was saying how the Mortuary Assistant, there's a scene in it that involves self-harm and like suicidal themes, and his video got age restricted almost instantly from that scene. And he was going to other YouTubers who were playing the same game, including the same scene, and their videos weren't age restricted, and it was very confusing, obviously, for him. And him talking about that has kind of set off this domino effect, like this snowball of people trying to talk about it and then getting their videos of the Mortuary Assistant age restricted after that, and it seems like this whole mess. Sean does explain this a lot better. That has just triggered this whirlwind of people talking about the age restriction issue and be like, oh my god, I'm having the same issue too. This is happening, and very recently, as in like last week, has come to Markiplier being affected by this issue. Now, Mark, again, I have a huge respect for. I think he's a great creator, and has done YouTube original series with YouTube. You know, he's a very talented creator, and he was part, and so was Sean, of an event called Game On, which, as I understand, was like it was a pre-filmed live stream where basically you could go through different, like, these creators, like, they filmed a bunch of options that people could go, you know how Mark does like the interactive stuff that's like really cool and clever? That's essentially what was happening. And Mark's section, now bearing in mind, Mark, as I say, Mark has done YouTube original series with YouTube, he's made YouTube a lot of money, he's a very big creator, but his section of Game On got deleted. And I tweeted about this because I spotted it in my feed and was like, if you guys want to know why this is going on, you know, look into this. And he made a video about like trying not to get age restricted, and he made like a bunch of, it was such a funny video. It was Orc Massage, which, in fact, no, do look it up on Steam, because I think we're all old enough at this point. But it was a very fun video. I laughed quite a lot, but the irony was that he was trying to play up on this whole age restriction thing, and it was a very clever thing to do. It was very smart, it was very funny, and very well done. And then afterwards is when Game On happened, and he tweeted that they deleted his section, and he's now actually gone and re-uploaded what was going to be his section of Game On. So if you do want to go watch that, go on his channel and you'll find it pretty easily. But I was shocked when I read that tweet, because I thought, seriously? This is Markiplier? This is... what? And Sean talked about it in a video of his that he said that it wasn't the age restriction thing that got Mark's section removed. It was something to do with time or something very vague. I don't really believe that, personally. I think that was out of politeness, but hey, again, YouTube don't come for me. That's all opinions. Everything's alleged, nothing is fact, okay? But as I say, I was shocked by that. I was utterly shocked, and that really was what sparked me to want to make this video, was seeing that tweet and then watching Sean's other video where he talked about it, and seeing just how much this was being talked about. And then it reminded me of that video I made last year, and I thought, I'm gonna because I as of recently, now that I've moved home, and since I graduated uni and now this has become my job, basically, I'm really trying to build my channel more. And thankfully, my most recent videos since the London video that I made, the London vlog, which is, I'm very proud of, by the way, go look at that. Since I made that video, for some reason, I have actually mastered the algorithm. Now, as we know at the moment, the algorithm is mainly based on SEOs, which is keywords, so things in the title and the description, which basically means you've got to create kind of the most generic title ever to get your videos searched, and you've got to be very clever with how you put keywords in the description and whatever. So, I mean, I'm quite good at that, I think, that I've been, and I mean, it's showed with the views. So I'm quite proud of myself for that, but at the same time, it also made me look into my Creator Studio analytics and see, like, especially the suggested videos, and I'll get onto this in a minute, it made me just rethink again how the algorithm works and some of the issues, and basically to see if the issues I was having last year when I made my first video about this are still present. And they very much are. So as much as I haven't been affected by the age restriction issue, I basically wanted to add to the general conversation about the issues with YouTube, especially when it comes to small creators and small creators who are trying to grow. I mean, as Sean said in, I think it was the second video he made about this topic, about the age restriction, that the whole unfair bias thing, it does affect small creators who are trying to grow, because especially those who are trying to make a living out of it, because if your video gets age restricted, it's not going to be pushed out to advertisers, you know, it could get demonetized, and it just doesn't get pushed out as much, which sucks for small creators. And yeah, so, but as I say, aside from the age restriction thing, there are other issues that are still present within YouTube that I think, in order for it to work in the most efficient way that it can, in order to support its creators, there are some things that do need to change, and I'm basically here to highlight those issues and add to this whole conversation about how we can improve YouTube for the better. So, without any further ado, let's get into the discussion. So the first thing I wanted to touch on, which I think I talked about in last year's video as well, is tags. And for me, tags should once again be a bigger part in getting someone's video found. As much as I understand the current SEO algorithm situation, you know, titles and keywords being what makes your video more searchable, it unfortunately means that you have to create very generic titles and descriptions, and you have to be very clever about how you weave it in, as I said before, so, which I think for those who are trying to grow but also stay authentic to themselves and try and show their audience who they are, it's not the best to try and force creators to come up with these really generic titles just to kind of fit in with the crowd, especially when it comes to people making lifestyle vlogs. Now I think the reason, like, going back to my London vlog, which did really well, I think the reason that did really well was because of, first of all, it was London, which is a big hotspot at the moment. Like, if you live in a big city and you're making lifestyle content, like it's either New York or London or LA. Well, not really LA anymore, which is a whole other topic, but if you're living in like a big city, like I should say New York or London, your content is most likely going to be clicked on, because that's the lifestyle everyone's aiming for at the moment, is to live in those cities. And for me, I want to live in London, either London or Manchester, so that's the dream. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. But tags used to be, years ago, a big part of getting your video searchable, like making your video searchable and getting your video out there. I used to spend ages, I remember, like typing out tags, and even more recently, before I really discovered how the algorithm works, you know, I was going on like the tags generators and I was getting all these tags and putting them in there, and it wasn't doing anything for my video. In fact, if anything, it was getting it less pushed out, I noticed, and that's because of how the algorithm works at the moment. You've got to put kind of your tags or your keywords in the title and description, you know, as I say, make it very generic with keywords. And even if you try and make it a little bit exciting, like in the first bit, and even if you put kind of keywords afterwards, it doesn't do as well, and that sucks, in my opinion. That really sucks, because, as I say, it takes away from the authenticness of the creators. You know, you can't make a really exciting title anymore without including keywords or like making it generic, because it's just not going to get pushed out. Like, you have to, you're being forced into this bubble. And I think if tags came back as a big part of the algorithm, then I think it would free creators' minds a little bit more, to mean that they wouldn't necessarily have to think so hard about how are we gonna title the video, you know, how are we gonna keep it concise whilst also putting a load of keywords in, and how am I gonna weave these into the description, because not everyone's gonna be really good at that. And even with me, I mean, I know I've tried most recently to kind of put more keywords in my descriptions. I used to just make like a kind of a light-hearted created message and just kind of be myself in the description of the videos. Now I'm having to sort of weave those two together whilst also being kind of authentic and be like, yeah, hey guys, this is what's happening, and kind of be my sort of light-hearted self, whilst also weaving in a bunch of keywords and making all these kind of, as I say, generic sentences just to get the keywords in and just to make sure the video is pushed out. And I guess that's how it works, but for me, that's taking away from why people came to YouTube years ago, or why people come to YouTube in the first place. And if you put people on this sort of streamline of you are machines, like you'll feed the machine by being a machine, basically, and that's how I see that issue. So I mean that is more of a suggestion to kind of start off with, but it is a big one when it comes to video creation and putting your videos out on YouTube. But now I'm going to move into some issues like once the video's gone up and it's being pushed out, some issues that I'm finding with like more irrelevancies, which is about to make more sense in a minute. So I'm going to throw up a screenshot of these top suggested videos. So like the videos that are suggesting my videos from my last video, which was all about burnout as a graphic designer and self-doubt and that kind of thing. It was a bit of a rant, but they did surprisingly well. I was shocked. But anyway, so this is the recommended videos from my creator studio, and do you see any videos that talk about graphic design, burnout, mental health? Me neither. Okay, me neither. This is an issue that I talked about in last year's video. That was still a massive issue last time, because last year my videos were getting suggested by videos that were like adult content and like 18+ content and like explicit content. You know what I mean? Like it had all this kind of stuff in it. Now it's not as bad. I think YouTube's cracked down a lot on not allowing pornographic content, obviously, on the platform. So I think that's why that's gone away a lot more, because they've cracked down on like bots and stuff. But this is still an issue. When I'm getting my videos suggested by interviews with Andrew Tate, or like videos about Andrew Tate, no. Absolutely not. Or like boxing fight interviews, no, that's not. I don't even watch those videos. That's not even from my watch list. Like that's just the algorithm is doing that, and I have absolutely no idea why. Like this is clearly not my audience. At least I hope it's not my audience. I hope my audience aren't watching Andrew Tate, but you know, it's like, what? And I swear, if you're a small creator watching this, I would encourage you to actually go into your suggested videos if you haven't already, and actually have a look at what videos are suggesting your videos and see if you're having the same issue, because this is ridiculous. As I say, this has been going on since I made the video like last year. This is not helping, okay? Not only are you forcing creators to stick to one method of putting titles and descriptions in, like putting all their keywords that they need to include in the title and description of their videos, not only are you doing that, but you're then punishing them in a way for doing what you want by suggesting them to random areas of the platform that have absolutely nothing to do with the creator. Like, if we're supposed to put relevant keywords to get it put out to the relevant areas of YouTube and the people who are watching the same content as what you're putting out, at least suggest it to the same areas. Don't just go completely off track and go, oh no, it's fine, we're just gonna... The top videos that are suggesting this content are about misogynistic arseholes who get banned from the internet. Like, what? It just doesn't make any sense. And as I say, this has been going on since last year and it still hasn't changed. And that's one of the main things that triggered me to make this video, was the fact that this is still happening. And especially as someone like, and as I've said, I'm trying to make this more of my job now. I'm trying to make this my job. And this is a massive problem, because this is stunting a lot of small creators from getting their videos out. And I don't get it. It is such a hypocrisy complex of, why are you punishing creators for putting the correct keywords in their titles and descriptions by suggesting their content to completely irrelevant areas of the platform? I just don't get it. It's harming small creators. It really is, you know. Fix this, YouTube. Please fix this, because this is the biggest thing. Like, it's not only the fact that, yeah, obviously it's reaching some people who are meant to see that content, you know, because otherwise it wouldn't really get views. But when the top videos that are suggesting that content are completely irrelevant, that's just completely crushing growth. Like, that's completely and utterly stopping YouTubers from growing if their content's not being pushed out to the right audience. It should be logic, but it's clearly not, because this is still an issue. So yeah, that, to be honest, is the biggest thing that I have to say in terms of the algorithm. Really, like, that is the biggest issue I have with the algorithm and how it works, is this. I have nothing else to say apart from fix this, YouTube, because it's a big problem, and I'm sure you can see, now that it's being highlighted again, what a big problem this is. So please fix this. The last issue I wanted to mention before I wrap this video up is consistency. And this is not only an issue that is affecting small creators, but it's an issue that has affected much bigger creators as well. Of course, consistency is a big part of growth on YouTube, right? We know this. If you aren't consistent on the platform, then your videos are obviously not going to get pushed out. You're not going to be picked up by the algorithm. However, and I've seen this especially with big creators, or bigger creators, kind of mid-tier, is that if you take a break, whether that be like say you've been consistent for like what, a year and a half, like 2 years maybe, and then you decide to take a week off because mental health, right? Or even if you decide to skip, like if you're a creator who uploads every day and you decide to miss a day because, again, mental health or something happens where you can't upload, and then you come back, and I've seen this time and time again, when people do this, when they come back, a lot of the time those videos underperform because they've taken a break, and now they're having to fight to get back on the algorithm after maybe even 1 day of missing it. And that is so damaging and so harmful, it's baffling. When you're punishing creators for taking care of their mental health, or something in like life happens where they don't have a video pre-filmed and then, as I said, they can't upload. When you're punishing creators for taking a break, that is putting so much pressure on creators and pushing so many possibly to burnout. Because even if something happens and they need to take a break and they can't go on, they are still thinking, oh my god, yeah, but if I don't upload, then my videos are going to underperform and this is going to go down. And you're encouraging so many people to go into spirals about it, because if this is how you're treating your creators for looking after their mental health, then of course they're going to think like that. And as I say, I've seen this happen so many times now, where, you know, a YouTuber will take a break and then come back and their views will underperform, and they're going, I don't know what's happened, and then they're forced to question their whole life, because if that's their sole form of income, if that's their living, and then all of a sudden it's not coming in as it once was, then, you know, they could struggle with rent, they could struggle with food, you know, things like, I mean, and as they current economic situation at the moment globally, that's not a good thing. I mean, granted, I haven't seen something like that happen very recently, but it may well still be an issue on the platform, and I wanted to bring it up because I haven't heard that it's changed, and it really stuck out to me as an issue that I have seen happen. This is obviously a bit of a different video from me. I wasn't expecting to really make a video about this, but with everything that went on with the age restriction thing with Sean and Mark and Corey, the gaming community, and then also with me looking at my analytics and seeing the top suggested videos, like that whole thing in combination just triggered me to make another video about this, because I thought, you know, that now is the time, as I've said throughout this video, now is the time to jump on this and talk about it and be vocal and basically give some constructive feedback to YouTube to help it run more smoothly as a platform and to fully support its creators. So yeah, if you're still here and you're still watching this, thank you. You know, this is a very important conversation to be having at the moment, or just in general, until something gets changed. And I truly, as I say, this is my 9-year anniversary on YouTube, and truly, I want to see this platform change and go back to how it used to be, like in what, 2015, 2016, even 2017. I think that was the last good year of YouTube before things went downhill. The past 4 years have not exactly been the smoothest, have they? I want to see the platform improve because I love YouTube so much, and it's been a massive part of my life, and it's going to be an even bigger part of my life moving forward, as I say, with social media and using social media as promotion for my graphics work and Student Reform Collective, and just making it way more, like, taking it way more seriously than I ever have done before is, as I say, this is a really big big turning point for me as a creator, but also as other creators, as I say, with this conversation being so widespread. So as I said, I just wanted to hop in here and give my input to this conversation, and I love that this conversation's being had, because I think together, if we band together and we fight enough, something can happen. But we've got to fight. Like, we know with YouTube they can be stubborn, so we've got to really band together and really fight. So by all means, share this video with whoever you think might need it, or would want to see it, or just share it in general. That would really help. If you haven't seen my face before, hello. Sorry, my camera died. My name's Anna. I've, as I say, been on YouTube for 9 years. I do all sorts of content, hence my channel name being AnnaisRandom. I am random, I do all sorts of things on here, but at the moment I'm mainly talking about business plans and like running my own business in my 20s, 21, and I talk about my creative process as a graphic designer. I do lifestyle content. Feel free to check out my channel if you think that's something that would be of interest to you. You know, just check out what I have to offer. In the description I'm going to have links to my graphic design work and also Student Reform Collective, which helps students live a healthier lifestyle. You can look at it. I'm going to leave it all in the description. It's always there, so you can go have a look at that. But yeah, as I say, I really hope that this conversation and this era of people really standing up to the issues with YouTube really does push for some change, because I think it is very much needed. So yeah, I'm not going to do my outro because it's not really relevant. It's not really the right vibe for this video. And yeah, as I say, check out what I have to offer if you think that I'm your cup of tea, and together we can fight to change YouTube for good. So I will see you guys in the next one.